Hey everyone, and welcome to PGN Live. We are past the halfway point for the month of February. It's a short month, but as I mentioned in previous streams, some big things have already happened in February, and we're here to talk today about what could end up being the biggest thing of the month if it happens. But first of all, welcome on in. February 16th. It's Monday. I'm ready to talk. I'm also going to put earlier than not something in the pop-out chat. Well, first I got to get the pop-out chat rolling, see who's here this afternoon. But what I'm going to put up is something that dropped over the weekend that we didn't talk about in a live stream. So I'll include it here.
Allergies are
And that is this new wave of posters from Nintendo and Illumination for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Holy smokes, hold on. I can't even get the pop-out chat, or not to say can't. I haven't got the pop-out chat rolling yet. And right away I see some green up in here from Ash Gaming 17 already with a gifted membership. Huge thank you to Ash for that gifted membership. I appreciate it. Let's see. Hold on. We got to see who got it. Zelda Player 85. Quite fitting of a name because, well, this Saturday is the Legend of Zelda's 40th anniversary. And if there's something that's going to happen, come on, Nintendo. It's got to be this Saturday, right? Or maybe in a Nintendo Direct that would show up on a Wednesday or Thursday or something, right? Something surely. Hopefully. We'll see. We'll see. I'm going to have to update this in a moment. Like I said, Ash, that was one of the fastest debuts to a channel getting a super chat or a gifted membership in probably YouTube history. So thank you so much once again. Let me see who else is here. Oh, before I get too ahead of myself, let's go Ash's name in here with the $1. Big appreciation again. We got it red for the month of February. And that brings our total members to 429. We're still looking healthy. Almost at 500. Pretty awesome. Michael S. Gutman is here. Hey, I'm early. You are. Welcome, Michael. Crazy Scott. Hey, Paul. How you doing? Mario Master. Hey, Paul. Majin Poo 7766 saying hey, Paul. Hey, everybody. Welcome. I'm so happy to be back, says Mario Master. Welcome back. I'm glad you're here, too. Oh, let me pin this. So, if you have some hypes that you could give, there we have a brand new link up top. It's a brand new week. Maybe you could triple hype it if you are so kind, but that's up to you. But up top, the pinned comment is a link to a video I put up over the weekend. This one right here. This 7 new posters video for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. Yeah, it was really cool. I think I put it up on Saturday. Nintendo just kept on giving us more and more posters throughout the day. You know, it was like Mario here, then Luigi, a Bowser. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. What's next? Oh, here's a Princess Peach, by the way, with Toad. And then here's a Rosalina. Wow. And Yoshi, boom. And Bowser Jr., boom. It's like, what a treat. So that video is doing pretty well. It might get to 1,000. I don't know. We put up some shorts over the weekend also. And those are doing all right. So thank you all for your support. Let's see. Byzantium. Happy PGN Live. That's right. Yvonne Francois saying hi, everyone. Hi. Shiny Ray. Maybe a Zelda movie direct. Shiny Ray. I like the sound of that. Gosh. We are 14 and a half months away from the Zelda movie. I don't know if Nintendo would have originally shown off those official shots of Link and Zelda, if the leak didn't happen just a couple of days prior, maybe they would have, maybe they wouldn't have. I don't know. But I think it might be too early at the 14-month mark to have a trailer. But to have a first official poster? The Legend of Zelda. With a shot of what's the Hyrule field look like in front of Link and Zelda. Who would be on this poster, you know? A detailed look at a sword or a shield. A certain mountain in the background. A volcano with some smoke coming out, right? A castle in the distance. A forest shrouded in mystery with some fog hovering above it. Like, what could this first poster be like? I don't know, but I cannot wait. An additional casting reveal of Ganondorf, or whom we think is Impa based off of that, leaked behind the scene footage. Hard to say. But I am excited. I'm excited. Mario Master 03 this week would be crazy. It could be crazy if we get a direct. Oof. It would be wild because next week we're looking at Friday the 27th for Pokemon Presents Pokemon Day. This Saturday being the 21st, perfect to celebrate Zelda. Just let's go with February 18th or 19th. Let's go with the 19th, okay? Let's go with February 19th as this is the date of a general Nintendo Direct. A little bit of time went by from Nintendo's third-party partner showcase. A little bit of time went by since Sony had their PlayStation State of Play, in which several of those games, are already announced to be coming to Nintendo Switch 2, like Castlevania and the Metal Gear Solid, 2 collection with MGS4 and Peace Walker and all that, right? So that could be, those couple of titles could be in a montage sequence in the General Direct, but let this General Direct give us Splatoon Raiders. Provide to us the Splatoon Raiders release date. Give an updated look on Yoshi and the Mysterious Book and a date for it. Have a brand new trailer for the Duskbloods, perhaps also with a date. And then Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave, a new gameplay / cinematic trailer that shows us just how big and ambitious this game is looking. Maybe with a release date or a quarter, and there you go. Like, that's a good 5 or so games. Some other third-party stuff. And then just that 1 or 2 new Nintendo thing, maybe with a little Zelda segment in it. It could be awesome. You hyped for the Virtual Boy? Yes, I am. Actually, Natsu, I got it in the mail. I didn't open the box yet, but I have the box right behind me. I'm so excited. I will be doing an unboxing of it. I was thinking about unboxing it first and then having it in the background, but I'll do this PGN Live right now, then do an unboxing, and then the next time you watch a PGN Live, it'll be there and I'll have my feedback and all that stuff. Ash, I also got a shiny Latios in Pokemon Legends ZA. That's pretty cool. I don't have many shiny Pokemon. Well, none from that game, but over the years, not too many. If it's not this week, it might be for Mario Day. March 10th could be when Nintendo has something for Mario. Yeah, possible. Ninty Prime in the house. We all know Paul Gale has Devin Pritchard on speed dial. Just call her quick. Tell us if the direct is Thursday. You know what? I could call Devin. You know what? Let's go for it. Hey, Devin. How's it going? Good, good. I'm actually having a PGN live right now. I was wondering, can you just confirm to me when is the Nintendo Direct? Here, let me put you on speed dial. Or let me put you on a speaker. And they're gonna show off what? This is gonna be the coolest thing ever. Nobody, oh, people are gonna flip out. You guys heard it here first. You heard it here. Bye, 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 Devin. Bye. Oh, going with Nate's recommendation. Just got off the phone with Devin Pritchard. You all heard it, dude. This Nintendo Direct is gonna be nuts. It's gonna be wild. The amount of stuff that they've got cooking for it, it's like nothing I've ever heard before. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Good call, Ninty Prime. Whew, good call. Michael saying March makes more sense though. Okay. Corny Puddle saying hello, hello, Corny Puddle. David, why would waiting to June be less probable than March or April for a general direct? Usually they reveal fall games in the June. So you're asking Nate that question. If I had to chime in, I don't think Nintendo's going to go all the way until June to have a general direct. Just looking at the past, 12 or so years, quite often have they had something in February. They already had one this month. But quite often they've also had more than one in the first 4 months. So in the first third of the year, which goes through April 30th, quite a few times they've had a few presentations in that time frame. So I think it's entirely possible that we get another direct before April 30th. Now, if we don't get one by then and it's like May 3rd, then I'm guessing, yeah, June might be the next thing. That is something that I'm not expecting, but I am expecting something before April 30th, just based off of the past. Is it a little bit too ambitious to think one could happen this week? Not necessarily, because Nintendo has had, after all, the Nintendo Switch 2 and the general Nintendo Switch Direct, they happened 1 week apart. So Nintendo's not against doing something like that. And you just heard from Devin right now, so it's possible. I don't want people to get their hopes up for this week. Cautiously optimistic about this week, but I think far more safe to put that money on the bet of before April 30th we'll get one. I would be surprised. That's the only thing that would surprise me is if we don't have a general by then. But even if that were the case, I don't think it means we get nothing from them until June, because they could just do a Yoshi and the Mysterious Book random Twitter X drop. They could do a random Splatoon Raiders X drop. They could do a random Zelda collab with, Levi's here. They could do a random NSO drop of, here's the Legend of Zelda 40. All without a direct. Would some people freak out? Some. But honestly, a vocal minority would freak out. The majority of the tens of millions of Nintendo Switch 2 prospects out there, if they are seeing what's on the store shelves in Donkey Kong Bonanza, talking to their friends about how cool Mario Kart World is, seeing that these upcoming games are coming to Nintendo Switch 2 in GameStop, merchandise and whatnot, that's going to be okay for a lot. And for the folks online, there's still plenty of people online in that vocal minority that would be happy with what is out now, knowing that more is to come, especially in the third parties. I'm not worried about 2026. And we got the Mario movie. And you could say, well, the Mario movie isn't a game. No, but it is overall the general perception of Nintendo and the faith in the company that, if you have faith in the company, that is going to be representative of faith in the games. It will translate over into 2026 still being good. Mario Master says the next 3D Mario will be in this direct. They already have enough games announced that they just need dating until August or so, says David. Yeah, I think they have quite a few games. Just give us some dates, though. That's true. JM Powers is here. There's a direct this week. That's a rumor. We don't know yet. Roger Enyart, speaking of non-rumors, that's just a fact. Roger Enyart dropping that $2 super chat in here. Thank you so much. And the comment was, Happy Monday to all. It indeed is a happy Monday. Thank you, Roger. Roger Enyart. With the super generous $2 super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Roger. Lily Young 1002 Hi Peeps. Let's see. y'all got the amazing scoop, didn't you? Lean Chesley, what do you think will happen for the anniversary? I mean, there's some things that I think will happen, and that what I want to happen, you know. I think we'll get something. I think at the very least, Nintendo will put a short 90-second clip together on YouTube /X, Instagram, etc. of ba, 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 ba. Nice montage sequence of The Legend of Zelda 40th anniversary with a look at games over the years. Tapping into things like save file, gold cartridge, NES, Z targeting, rumble technology utilized in interesting ways, N64, motion control aiming with Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, on-screen map navigation, Wii U, Breath of the Wild. You know, maybe some pieces of E3 Nintendo figureheads standing up on stage, pop, 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 culminating in a what's next? Question mark. Hatsa! Link. One quick 1.5 second shot of him in the next game, plus movie, and that's it. You know, that's something within the realm of, like, if they're not going to have a direct this week that has a 12-minute portion of the direct focusing on Zelda, or they're not going to go big and have a Zelda direct or a 7-minute Zelda segment, they do like a 90-second long montage sequence of Zelda over the years, and they finish it with, you know, like what's next, and they give that little tease of a Link swinging a sword from the next Zelda game and Zelda movie reminder of the date. That's what I like. That's what I like. I don't think that that's too far-fetched. What I would hope for is this nice beefy 15-minute segment in the Nintendo Direct to be Zelda-based. I'll go one further. What I would really like to see is Nintendo open up the general Nintendo Direct with Zelda and have some cool little things like an NSO reveal of The Legend of Zelda 40, which would be a comparable game to Super Mario Bros. 35, right? Little Zelda movie poster reveal, that kind of thing. And then carry on with the Direct. That's it. Nothing monumental. But then the last thing is taking it one step back to the very beginning of the Direct, which was Zelda related, and end the Direct with like Ocarina of Time remake. Mind blown. You teased the fans a little bit. You know, you started the Direct off with like a 15-minute Zelda sequence, but nothing of magnitude. Had another, 40 minutes of the Direct go by, pretty sweet. And then the one last thing being Zelda, wrapping it all up. Like, that would be brilliant. That's how I would love to see it go down, you know? Heard it here first. Direct confirmed for Wednesday. That's right. That's right. David, I would just be unsure how they would handle third parties in a general direct. They have before. They already had a partner, so is there 20 to 25 minutes more of a partner games? So Nintendo, if you look at the past, Nintendo General Directs, quite often they've got, third party games that show up and they just scatter them throughout. Or they have a montage sequence, or both. They have a couple of the bigger, more notable titles have, minute and a half, 2.5 minute long portions. And then they have these, clipped segments where it's, you know, 10 to 12, 15 games in a row at most, maybe. One after another, just getting 10 seconds each or something like that. There's still room. A Zelda collab with Levi's. They're making Zelda jeans. That's just one possible thought. Similar how they collaborated with Nintendo back in 2019 that summer to have the Super Mario Brothers brand of Levi jeans and all that. So that's just an idea. Regardless of when the direct happens, I do feel 3D Mario will be in it, and also for October 2026. I cannot omit a 3D Mario from happening this year just because I do see it as one possible direction. I don't know if it's going to happen, but I see it as one possible direction that Nintendo could go where it's, you got the success of the movie. You have Yoshi capitalizing on being in the movie and having his own game. Movie having its DVD, Blu-ray, streaming, boom, boom, boom. And then you finish off the year with a big 3D Mario. More so, perhaps, if the next Mario game has Galaxy in the title, if it's Super Mario Galaxy 3 or Super Mario Universe. It doesn't have to. It could be Mario whatever, Odyssey 2, or completely something different. Doesn't matter, but just, the naming convention, especially if this is like a $1.6 billion generating film, it does lead well into thinking that the next game could have Galaxy in the title. But it's not necessary, I'm sure the game is going to do fine regardless of what it's called. I just think they follow the 2023 playbook of the movie and the next Mario game reveal. Let's see. After the 2023 movie, it was about a half a year that went by, and then came Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Yeah. I love your content, Paul. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I'm glad that you're enjoying the content. I'm having a lot of fun putting them all up. The Kiwi game might have been that God of War 2D game that came out, but yeah, there are plenty that could be included. Yeah. What if they do nothing for the 40th anniversary of Zelda? They did nothing for the 35th. At least I don't remember. For the 35th anniversary, they had a pair of the Legend of Zelda Joy-Con controllers, Skyward Sword HD, and the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch. So they celebrated 35th anniversary, but just not with some like big grand new game. However, not too long after, we had like Echoes of Wisdom, and of course before that we had Tears of the Kingdom. So Nintendo's always been cooking with Zelda. But is it possible, for the 40th anniversary they don't? Yeah, I don't think they don't. In fact, they are. They are celebrating the 40th. With the Ocarina of Time Lego set. That's within this 40th year. They are celebrating it with the Legend of Zelda movie. That's within the 40th year. The 40th anniversary is a 1.5 year long thing. It goes from February 2026 through August of 2027, because August of 1987 is when Zelda came into the United States. So you've got a 1.5 years. You could even go November 2027 at the latest, because that's when Zelda appeared in Europe. So that's a big, part of the world at the Zelda fan base right there. So I think you've got like a 1.5 years to a 1 year and 9 months in which you could celebrate and say this is a part of our 40th anniversary celebration and be fine. What if Link gets lost in a swamp in the next game and you play as Zelda instead? I mean, in a new mainline game, I think we still have Zelda. I mean, I think we still have Link as the prominent character playable, but I could definitely see them including Zelda in some way, like we did in Echoes of Wisdom, but more so, right? At least my wish of 2D Castlevania came true, even though I predicted it for the partner direct and it came in the PlayStation show. Yeah, when I was on Nintendo Prime's podcast, on the Nintendo Byte podcast, that was one of the things I was talking about. Was like, oh man, a Zelda game, like a Castlevania game, and like, dude, we got it a few days later. Castlevania, what? Also in that podcast with Nate and Gamebird, Eric, uh, Thunderstash, Roger, Vlam, the Metal Gear Solid talk. Like, two of the things that I was hoping for at that Nintendo Direct Partner Showcase, boop, were there in the PlayStation State of Play. But we're getting those games too. I say we. I mean, I would get those games regardless, but I will be picking them up on Nintendo Switch too instead of my PS5. Yeah. Mario Tennis Fever is good, but could be better. But it's fun like Mario Kart World. That's good. Dorox says peak. Michael S. Gutman plus first party. Artisan James question is, does Nintendo want or need to announce / show a new 3D Mario before the Galaxy movie release or after? I don't think the game's success will be impacted one way or another negatively, regardless of whether it's shown off before or after, right? I think releasing it too early could hurt it a little bit or hurt the movie a little bit, but announcing the game before or after, I don't think will hurt the game. I'm trying to picture how would Nintendo do this, because there are a few different ways, you know. They could announce a new game coming later in the fall so that people that watch the movie are now super hyped for it, watch the movie again, then again digitally or on Blu-ray or something, and then pick up the game that fall. Or maybe 3 weeks into the movie's release, that's when they have this surprise reveal of this game coming out in the fall, so it brings back a number of people 3 weeks, 5 weeks in to go see the movie again, boost up sales more. Or they hold off until June, so they capitalize on the 4K Blu-ray DVD sales, because streaming is already going to be on Netflix, so you gotta imagine, well, the ability to buy it later on might be boosted up because of people knowing that this game is out. They want to get reacquainted with the film and all that. But then you've got this thing, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. When does it come out? It's got to be the earlier release, right? It's got to be like a May or June title. We'll see. Lots of possibilities. Talion Infernus says, based off of the Bowser poster where he looks like he's back to normal size holding 2 axes, I think we might actually get Giant Bowser as the final boss of the Galaxy movie. Maybe. Maybe we see Bowser again, or I could see something like, here's what I would kind of like to see. It's kind of a throwback to Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, but handled a little bit differently. By the way, 34 people watching now and 21 likes. Thank you so much. That's a pretty good ratio right there. 30 watching, 21 likes. Not bad at all. But in that game, you might remember Kamek made baby Bowser super big, right? How about in this movie, Kamek makes Bowser Jr. super big, and then you've got this epic battle of Mario with Luigi flying, Luigi donning the wings, shooting fireballs. Maybe you have to have Luigi with a wing cap if Mario's the one that's riding Yoshi, or some combination, and they're flying in the distance while Bowser Jr., who's giant, is chucking these big eggs or bombs, and our heroes are flipping their capes around, repelling them back at him, or something like it could just be this awesome mix of Bowser getting big, but instead it's Bowser Jr. I don't know. Like, I can't wait for the movie. I cannot wait. It's a month and a half away. Well, it's not a month and a half away, though. It is the 10 gifted memberships dropped now, live here on PGN Live, bringing our stream up to 13 for the day. Roger at 12. Our total members at 439. We are so close to 450, in which we're already almost there to 500. You can't jump the gun and say 500 without acknowledging 450. You know what I mean? Like, we're really close either way to hitting a couple of awesome marks. Thank you, Roger, for the super generous 10 gifted members. Let me see who are the lucky recipients this time. Matt Inside, A Stupid ID, Sonic McCracken, Onigiri Mori, Korkor, Murder 8, Fire Tiger Paw, Waffle Boy, Awful Ploy, Bliznev, The Classic Gamer, Boom, and Ash saying the stream is shared on Twitter as well. Extra thank you, Ash. Thank you. Joycey J, hit that like button or Nintendo is doomed. Yeah, you better hit that like button. I'm just kidding. Thank you for hitting the like button. And don't worry, folks, Nintendo won't be doomed for reals if you don't. But could you be doing some goodwill on PGN's side by hitting that like button? Yes. Paladin8669. Good afternoon, Paul. Good afternoon, Paladin. Ours and James Yoshi could still be late April release as well, and featured heavily in the Galaxy movie. Maybe Nintendo. So here's the thing, like, if they don't have a direct this week, do they save the direct for Mario Day itself? What's Mario Day? Mario Day is a Tuesday. Do they just double up? See, I don't know. If I'm Nintendo, I'm spreading myself throughout different quadrants, throughout different dates constantly, to always be in people's minds and always be a topic of conversation. That's what Nintendo does do. They don't put all their eggs in one basket. They sprinkle it all throughout the year. But one possibility was like, okay, they saved the direct until March 10th. That way they could capitalize on Mario Day. But then they would miss the Zelda anniversary month. But then they could use that day to talk about Yoshi. So I'm trying not to get too convoluted with the possibilities, but I'm sure that they have lots of thoughts of what is the best time, the most opportune time to do this or that going through their heads, right? So I guess I'm just going to go with slightly wishful thinking, but still possible to have a direct this week. March 10th, Mario Day. Use that day to give us the Yoshi and the Mysterious Book updated look trailer / release date, and have it come out like in May, so you don't have people debating, ooh, $70 or watch the Mario movie. I can only do one or the other. So don't put them too close together, right? April 1st, you don't have this game come out April 2nd, even though I think it'd be kind of cool like the next day, but it's going to compete with one another. Late April, May? Oh yeah, maybe. I would say mid to late May would be pretty cool for Yoshi. But maybe at this Mario Day is when you do the Mario game. Or do you say no, save the Yoshi book for the Direct in February and the Mario game for the Direct in February? But then what do you do on Mario Day, right? See how many possibilities there are? There's a lot. And you know, if we're thinking of them, Nintendo's thinking of them too. I want Twilight Princess or Ocarina of Time remake. That would be cool. Mario Master. I agree. Hey, Paul in chat. Hey, Steak 1024. What's up? Good to see you here. Everybody like the stream? That's right, Lean Chesley. Thank you. Let's see. Where are we? A stupid ID says, thank you to the person who gifted me the membership. That was from Roger Enyard, so I'm glad you got it, and welcome on in. Mask the Shapeshifter. Nice collection. Thank you. Yeah, there's some pretty cool statues in the background. Thank you. I love first four figures. That's who makes a good amount of what's in my background. If you don't hit the like button, Paul, disguised as Chuck Norris, will find you. You know what's kind of funny? Just the other day, in one of my shorts, someone commented on me looking like Chuck Norris again. And that's without the beard this time. That was kind of interesting. When I was going through, bearded Paul days for a good amount of months there, the Chuck Norris comments were popping up a lot. But to pop up now, without the beard? Interesting. But okay. Let's see. You mean the General Direct? Yeah, Mario Day sounds about right. Yeah. Mario Day, Mario Kart World DLC release. You know what? That's not a bad thought. I see Mario Kart World DLC no earlier than... I think it's going to happen in June. I think it's going to happen in the June Direct. At the year anniversary mark-ish. But I guess it could happen on Mario Day. I suppose it could happen in this potential February Direct that's happening this week. Maybe, I just don't think that Nintendo's in a rush. I think that even though you see dozens of people online say, I'm bored, I want more DLC, come on, when's Nintendo going to update Mario Kart World? I want more tracks. You got to realize, the game is only in the hands of 14 million people worldwide compared to 70 million for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. The game is still going to sell. The game is still going to be very new to that person who is one of a few 100,000 that are going to be buying the game this week. This 1 million or so new ownership of Mario Kart World that's going to exist from January 1st through March 31st, that's going to be a new game to them. You don't need to overwhelm them with DLC yet, right? Let them be satisfied with the base content. Don't forget, Mario Kart 8 launched like this. Then it got DLC with the Mercedes-Benz stuff, and with these tracks, and with these tracks, and then it became this. And then when it came out on Nintendo Switch, it was this with improved race battle mode. And then it got these packs of more stages and more stages and more stages. And then now it's this grand game. But that's a long time. Mario Kart World, for what it is at launch, started off as a very strong game. But obviously, people want more. And I don't think Nintendo will not give more. It's just timing. So that's kind of why I'm on the fence of I don't think it's going to happen earlier than the year mark, but I could be wrong. We'll see. Lots of possibilities always, though, Seriously, though, as a diehard Zelda fan, my expectations are extremely low. We're either getting NSO icons or nothing. That's not a bad way to be. If you want to not be disappointed, Go in there not thinking that you're going to get anything, and then whatever you get, be happy for. Be happy with, you know. I guess I'm looking at it as also a diehard Zelda fan. I think they're going to do something because it has become such a big, powerful franchise for Nintendo, more important than ever before, bigger than ever before, with a movie on the horizon, that they should utilize this coverage of a monumental event in a 40th anniversary of a beloved series. I mean, Castlevania is doing 40, you know. You did 40 for Mario. You should do it for Zelda. You got Legos on the horizon. Ha, Lego Horizon. You got Lego Zelda, you know, on the horizon with the Ocarina of Time set that you really should. So I think they will. But I don't know to what extent. And if they don't, I won't be disappointed because I know I'm getting the Zelda movie, so whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's how I look at it. If they don't celebrate Zelda 40th, does that mean that they're not going to have a new Zelda game? No. They're still going to have a Zelda game, and they are having the Zelda movie, and we are getting the Zelda Lego, so whatever. But I would definitely like to see something, you know? Roger is our personal Oprah when it comes to memberships. You get a member, you get a member, you get a member. And just like that, we're at 50 watching now. Are we above 25 likes? Do we have a 2-to-1 ratio there? Let me see. Yeah, we do. We got 50 watching and 34 likes. Above half. Not bad. Tsukino Ame, you get a membership, and you get a membership. That's right. Thank you, Roger, for being super generous. We passed 30 likes. Heck yeah. Chillin' Hard, 187. What's up, Paul and everybody? What's up? Linda Ray. Hello, Paul and everybody. What's up, Linda Ray? Hello. Tabby Cat Games. Hey, Tabby. Charlie Smith. What's up, Paul and everybody? What's up, Charlie Smith? Jeez, everybody coming in here right now. I just like looking at different game announcements. Yeah. You know, there are certain game announcements that I have watched so many times over the years. Like, was I a kid? No, I guess technically I wasn't a kid, as I turned 18 in the summer of 2001. So, you know, like, I guess I was a kid for Space World 2000, 17-year-old, right? Well, late teenage years, early adult years, you know, nothing quite like watching that live action 7-second spot. Well, I say live action, that realistic looking several second spot of Link and Ganondorf facing off. Oh, showing what the GameCube horsepower could do. Oh my gosh. And then we got Wind Waker, and watching that Wind Waker reveal so many times. How many times did I watch the Twilight Princess reveal? Now, I went to that E3 too, so I lived it live. How about that E3 2011 Zelda tech demo? How about the Super Mario 128 tech demo? How many times did I observe that? Factoring in how many polygons Nintendo GameCube could do. That was actually one of my earlier projects in the gaming industry. I'll tell that story another time, maybe. That was pretty fun. Certain trailers just stick with you, and it's enough. It's enough to keep you going. You know what I mean? Like, you don't need the whole game yet. Just, dude, give me a little morsel. I won't be greedy. Just give me a little something to look at. Let that Zelda Breath of the Wild footage of Link on Epona, well, Link on a horse, going through Hyrule Field. Our first look at this animated world of Hyrule with this guardian chasing Link, and Link can come off the horse and wow, that was cool. Dang, you know? That stuff, man. Just give me a little bit of something. That's all I need. So I do get it. Sometimes just a little something to look forward to. AJ Rax 0440. Hello, everyone. Hello, AJ Rax. How you doing? Good job with the lunges lately. I'm happy to hear that you're doing it. I like it. I like to see it. You're going to get better and better, stronger and stronger. The PGN brown belt tier, no joke. I hope, by the way, you do know you have access to not just like February's video, but all of them, right? There's more. Check them out. There's some good stuff for your shoulders, and there's a lot. There's a lot. I'm using reverse psychology on myself. Oh no, I get it. I want them to go ham on the Zelda anniversary. I get it. Yep. I know. I have a question. Do you think there's going to be a general direct this week? Banana Cat 42 says. Oh boy, Banana Cat. I want there to be one. Absolutely. I think there will be one before April 30th. I'm kind of on the fence about this week because Nintendo has released directs a week apart in the past, so it's not impossible. There are folks that are saying they have heard something for this week. I haven't, so I've got to go off of probability of the past. It's more likely than not to not have one this week, but it is possible that there is one. It's safer to say, statistically speaking, one will happen by April 30th. But there are some people who are saying a lot leaning towards, yeah, this week. I don't want to be a downer, but if I just had to be safe, I would say, no, I don't think we're going to get one this week. But, you know, I'm just going to go with a little bit of extra optimism and say, yes. I think I'm very cautiously optimistic about saying that, yes, I think we'll get something by Thursday. Because I don't have 100% like faith behind that statement, you know? I'm just being honest. But it keeps Nintendo in the conversation, so I'm leaning towards it being, yeah, I think something will happen this week. Partially because Zelda's anniversary, partially because Pokemon presents next week, partially to get something out of the way before Mario Day, let Mario Day exist on its own, and then have the Mario movie, you know? Yeah. Funny question. Dank Meme Center X. Don't see them acknowledge it right now, though, as it undercuts Mario, hold on to the market, and Pokemon looms. Just like how Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild could both be big sellers, and how there could be a fandom for a 3D Mario movie and a live-action Zelda movie, I think you could acknowledge Zelda 40th anniversary and not take over Mario, because I think you're still going to have the Mario movie come out, and that's going to do well, so that will exist on its own. The Yoshi game will exist. Probably some update later this year on how is Super Nintendo World Singapore doing. Come on in and let's take a look, you know, which will be filled with Mario and stuff. So acknowledging Zelda, I think it's all right. Possibilities. But it is a good point. You celebrate Zelda 40th and then a week later Pokemon 30th? Pokemon also is its own thing. It's big enough that I don't think anything that you show off Zelda related will take away Pokemon fans from still wanting to buy whatever Pokemon product they would show off, you know? Because Pokemon existed in its own fandom. You saw like the whole Logan Paul Pokemon Illustrator Pikachu card that went on sale yesterday for like $16.4 million. Pokemon has a very large base. It goes beyond the games, into the animes, into the cards, clothing, apparel. I mean, it's all over the place, Pokemon had Crocs before Animal Crossing did, which is pure Nintendo, right? So I think Pokemon, for the 30th anniversary celebration, you still hit a targeted demographic that's so big and so wide. Look at the billion people that downloaded Pokemon Go back in, 2020 or whatever. No, before then. 2016? It's been a while. You know, I don't think Zelda will hurt Pokemon. Nor do I think will Pokemon cannibalize Zelda, because if they freaking showed off Ocarina of Time this week, woo, remake, there's such a different group of people that would love it if the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time remake came out this November, that would buy it, that would have no interest in Pokemon or a shared interest. Likewise, some rabid Pokemon fans maybe wouldn't even give a chance of a time of day to the Zelda thing, even though they should. And then they're just so focused on Pokemon, they're like, that's their new Gen 10, that's what they wanted. So I think both could exist anyways. We'll see. Working and lurking, cool. I scream every time I see the Monster Hunter Stories 3 trailer. Yep. I loved your short. Oh, talking to Harukin. You think they're going to show a new 3D Mario? I think a new 3D Mario is going to be shown off, but I'm not 100% on it being here, because part of me could see them waiting till June and have it come out later in the year, just because then that kind of boosts up the summer's worth of activity on keeping Mario high. Then again, you announce this new 3D Mario game before the movie comes out to try to capitalize on that anticipation for the film, getting the game and the movie in sync with one another to develop this unrelentless, powerful surge of anticipation for all things Mario this year. Then again, people are talking about, is there enough? Is there enough from Nintendo in 2026? And I think so. Dude, you already have Duskbloods, Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, a brand new Professor Layton game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Mario Tennis Fever, and on top of those things, probably Splatoon Raiders, and third-party collaborations that are indeed happening, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Metal Gear Solid 2 Bundle and Castlevania and 007. So 007, that's going to resonate with some people who identify James Bond with Nintendo, with like Agent Under Fire, Nighttime, GoldenEye 007, Perfect Dark. Like, that's going to cater to those folks. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, there will be a certain Zelda fan that likes that Final Fantasy VII vibe, or old school Final Fantasy or Chrono Trigger on Nintendo. You're going to have probably a Pokemon Gen 10 release this fall. There are enough games, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, Duskbloods, like there are enough games right now from Nintendo and third parties to satisfy 2026. There already are enough, because you're still looking at a Rhythm Heaven, a Madden, a new WWE 2K, the recently released Dragon Quest VII. There's enough. There's enough to sell. Probably Mario Kart World DLC. There's enough. But some people don't think there is enough. So here's the question. What if you make it that there's too much? What if all of a sudden at the end of the year, you've got Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave in August, Super Mario Odyssey 2, Super Mario Galaxy 3, whatever, in November, Pokemon Gen 10, in November, Zelda Ocarina of Time remake in December, and then all of a sudden you got these two big of heavy hitters all back to back to back to back. Do they compete with each other too much? It could very quickly go from some people's perception as not enough, which isn't accurate in my opinion, to too much. This isn't Nintendo's first rodeo. I'm not saying get complacent. I don't think they are. I think that they have a beautiful opportunity to become the most powerful that they ever have. And I think that realization is on properly distributing their games throughout the generation, keeping the generation longer, more varied, and having better collabs and spacing with third parties. Because if Nintendo would like to get all third parties and having all third parties thrive, they do have to do a better job at spreading their own IP out. Because there are a lot of Nintendo fans that only care about Nintendo's games. And it's like, dude, if you just open your eyes a little bit, there is no reason why a Nintendo only gamer wouldn't like Final Fantasy VII Remake. Oh, but it's not made by Nintendo, I won't play it. Then pretend that Nintendo made it and play it if that's your holdback. Because there are some folks like that. I won't play it because Nintendo didn't make it. Or I won't play it because that's not made by so-and-so. Well, then just pretend that Stan Lee made Superman and just watch the new Superman if you are only a Marvel fan. You know what I mean? Like, people have hang-ups like that. Listen to a song. I like this song. Oh, it was made by this artist. Oh, I don't like that song anymore. You just gotta look at it as objectively as possible. And if something's good, it's good. Anyhow, getting back on the point is plenty exists on Nintendo Switch 2 for the calendar year of 2026 that all the Nintendo really has to do is just give release dates for those things. Rhythm Heaven. We got Tomodachi Life also. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it will be some people's. And show off like one or two more games coming this year. Boom, done. That's it. One or two more. One or two more to make this go from already a really good year to a great year. Could you imagine Zelda and or Mario this year? Either one of them. All of a sudden, it becomes an incredible year. Because those are incredible cream of the crop IPs of theirs, you know? That's all it takes. I am such a Mario or Zelda fan. Any year that either one of those franchises have one release, I don't need anything the rest of the year from Nintendo to be considered an amazing year by Nintendo, because I know I'm going to get a life-changing, beautiful experience from this 3D Mario, from this 3D Zelda, because they never fail me with those two, you know? That's how much passion either one gets from me. That if the rest of the year all it was were quality third parties, yeah, I'm good. I'm not saying do that, Nintendo, but that's how much 3D Mario and 3D Zelda mean to me. So for me personally, a 3D Mario or a 3D Zelda in 1 year, that year, bam, that's all you needed for me to be happy. The rest, third party, good. Because I'm open to third party too. And I love Capcom and I love Street Fighter. And, you know, I would highly look forward to the next whatever from whomever, right? Any Zelda remake, if it's done right, would be good. 10 years of Pokemon Go. Yeah. Output is there. Just no huge heavy hitter first party wise. In a way, I guess so. For as far as we know, Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave could be this big heavy hitter. But it isn't quite the heavy hitter that is Mario, Zelda, Animal Crossing, or Splatoon sales-wise, you know? Quality-wise, you know, I think certain Fire Emblem games are right up there with, like, top other high quality Nintendo IP, you know. Fallout 4 9 days from now. Honestly, I only see one or two more new first party games being announced. That could be the case. Paladin. Monster Hunter Story Series is amazing. Can't wait to play more. The Cringe Prophet. Hello, PGN and chat. Hello, hello. Virtua Fighter 5. I think I'll get it. Yep. That could be another good one. Maybe we'll get a trailer for the new Zelda movie this week. Yeah, Jack. I hope so. That would be so cool. I think I'm caught up in the chat, by the way. Maybe. Monster Hunter Stories 1 and 2 is on sale for $25. Amazing games, lots of hours of play and eggs. Plus, you can play the demo for 2 and 3 for free. Yeah, anytime that there's like a demo like that, that's a good deal. $24.49 each or total? If it's total, then yeah, for less than $25, that's pretty good. Do you think Nintendo would wait till June or September for a main direct? I don't think they will. By the way, we're at over 40 likes now. 46 watching, 43 likes. I just saw that go up. Big thank you to everybody who was waiting on that like button to go ahead and boom, hit it. Because now we're like pretty much equal parity there. And we're approaching the Nintendo 64 minute mark of the stream. So, looking good. PGN as Tingle in the Zelda movie. Kulu Limpa. I would do Tingle justice, man. Both games is $24 together. That's a really good deal. Let's say Nintendo doesn't have a direct until June because they want. Let's just run this scenario. What are the possibilities? Let's say they have a Zelda announcement this week for Zelda 40th, and it's kind of like I mentioned earlier, a 90-second little tease, but in that tease, it did show off a second and a half of gameplay of Link from the next game. That's big. And a look at the poster of the next Zelda movie. That's big. Boom. Next week is Pokemon Presents, and they bring to Nintendo Switch Online Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale Network of Darkness. One dropping that day and one dropping in March. Boom. Along with the following collab. Boom. Along with, here's the first look at Pokemon Gen 10 coming this fall. You got your Zelda, you got your Pokemon. Okay, next up, March 10th, Mario Day. Please enjoy. And it's Yoshi and the Mysterious Book release date, dropping in May. And your first look at the new Super Mario 3D game coming this November. Boom. And then April 1st, the Mario movie. Boom. And then in May, the release of Yoshi and the Mysterious Book. Cool. And then June 5th, Nintendo Switch 2 1-year anniversary. Here's the Direct. That's not that bad. That's not that bad. Uncharacteristic, but you can still see it's not bad. If they don't have a Direct until June, I just listed off something that would make many, many people happy. You telling me that this freaking week we get to see a second and a half of footage from the new Zelda game? Bonkers wild awesome. Oh my gosh, look at the lighting and the shadows and the physics, all of that. 1 second animation, especially if they say, yes, this is gameplay. Holy cow. And a Zelda movie poster. and then Pokemon next week with NSO games, and the original Red, Blue, and Yellow coming to Nintendo Switch Online, or a special cartridge pack that you could buy in stores, and Pokemon Gen 10, and then you got Mario Day with a footage from the new Mario game and a Yoshi game, boom, boom, and then the Mario movie, boom, and then the next month, Yoshi the game, and then June Direct, whatever. That's just gonna mean Nintendo is stepping back off the pedal and allowing the games that are out now to sell, which might mean a little bit of a softer amount of hardware that is sold than is possible, which is not what they necessarily want, but buying good faith in third parties at the same time and saying, we're allowing yours to shine. And then here's our big June Direct at the 1 year anniversary mark. And then here we're blowing the doors open for the rest of the year. And oh my gosh, is it incredible. And then here is this is the next Zelda game that's not the next new one, but that is coming out, Ocarina of Time remake or Twilight Princess. And, here is the Splatoon Raiders that you're all wondering about, and Dusk Bloods and all that. Like, brilliant, still fine. You see how I just made it work? I just made it work that this is a way how Nintendo could not have a Direct all the way till June, and it makes perfect sense. Is it what you all want? No, but if you were getting the Pokemon games on NSO and Paul Gale Network of Darkness over here, and a Zelda poster over there, like, isn't that enough? Isn't that enough? Tell you what, if you're old enough to be around, have been around in the 80s and 90s, you know that that's way more than what we used to get. Reality is, a lot of people have just gotten spoiled. A lot of the modern gamer is just spoiled because everything is so instant. You don't have to wait for food anymore. Food is delivered to you. You don't even have to drive. You don't have to wait minutes to get on the internet. You just take your phone out of your pocket and you're on in a second. You don't have to go out there and meet someone in the real world to ask them on the date. People could just look on the internet. You don't have to wait for days for someone to respond to your letter. Your text is instant. You don't have to wait once a month for a video game magazine to come in the mail. You've got social media like X and YouTubers creating content to bring you news instantly. You don't have to drive to your video game rental store or to a Blockbuster to watch a movie. It's streaming on demand, instant gratification. The world has, for a large portion of it, lost their chill, lost their time of stepping back and smelling the roses, so to speak. Just wait. Instant gratification is needed, and if you're not getting it, like that dopamine level, bam, it's flushed out. It doesn't have to be that way. If you grew up in the harder times when we didn't have this instant everything, I think you'd be more appreciative of what we do have. That's how I always look at it, is back in the day, there were no directs. There were 0 directs. It was a Nintendo Power or an Electronic Gaming Monthly once a month. That was the news. Now, I get a little dose of my video games every single day, multiple times a day. I used to get an E3 once a year. Now I get multiple directs and other directs and state of plays and social media access all year long. So to me, that's why I personally have built up a very powerful allowance of whatever happens. I'm not going to freak out one way or another because I know stuff is eventually going to happen. It's all good. Dude, I've been there when we didn't have this as an 80s, 90s kid. I'm built different. But in some ways, yeah. Yeah. Now, some folks weren't built in that era, so you have to, as a company who has been around for many years, realize, you're dealing with people in this generation who don't have that type of tolerance And you're dealing with people from this generation that got soft, who, even though they maybe could be like me, aren't anymore because they got softer, because times have changed. You know? Yeah. Companies have lots to consider when they make these decisions. David Patterson says, hello, Paul and family. Hello, David Patterson. Welcome, welcome. Let's see. I think I've fallen into the Nintendo Prime camp. They won't even acknowledge it or like a simple post on Nintendo Today. Expectations at the floor, then anything will be awesome. You know, Stake 1024, maybe you get Shigeru Miyamoto, Koji Kondo, and Eiji Aonuma, along with Wes Ball, all chilling in my backyard doing a cannonball into the Zelda pool with me at the same time. And that is the Zelda Direct this Saturday. Maybe that's what we get. Wii U Dark Times, I was not there, but I heard there were many droughts. You know, I'm not like a revisionist changing up the history of Wii U, because there was a big drought in like 8 months from when Wii U came out to when Pikmin 3 released. But there were other games that came out in between, like Injustice, that I had fun with. You know what I mean? And Wii U provided a lot of fun. I mean, my wife and I, for the 4 years and 4 months that we had Wii U before Nintendo Switch came out, never had a dull moment with it. From us playing Splatoon together to Super Mario Maker, Bayonetta 2, Star Fox Zero, enjoying Super Smash Brothers for Wii U. Gosh, going through Super Mario 3D World and Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze together. No, I liked my Wii U quite a bit. It was well utilized in this house. Nintendo Switch is a better machine. Nintendo Switch was absolute peak Nintendo, but even Wii U, like, I had fun with it, even with the droughts, you know? Yeah. Graceful Requiem says, hello, Paul. What kind of predictions or hopes do you have today? Will the winds, the gales of change make us Nintendo kids dream away? I think that the new pair of Pokemon games should be called Pokemon Gale and Pokemon Force. Yeah. Pokemon Gale and Pokemon Force. That'd be pretty sweet. That's what I think. That's my prediction. Instead of Pokemon Wind and Pokemon Water, how about just Pokemon Gale and Pokemon Force? Be pretty sweet. That's what I'm banking on, Graceful Requiem. You heard it here. I was born in the 70s. I don't think these kids could make it back then without cell phones. All I had was an Atari 2600. True? AJ Rack saying, or a store catalog to show you all the toys and games for Christmas. Yeah. Zabakin, I don't think there will be a direct. Nate the Hate nor anyone else has given a date. Maybe. We never got DLC back then, Paul. Now people are spoiled because they get DLC, but they don't get instruction booklets, but we did. Yeah, you know, that's the thing. Like, people complain these days about DLC. Well, what's worse? Okay, back in the day, you had to buy Street Fighter 2, and then like a year later buy Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and then a year later buy Super Street Fighter 2. If you wanted to go from playable 8 to 12 to 16 characters. Or, these days, it's like, here's Street Fighter 6, and within a year, we're going to give you some more characters and stages, and next year, we're going to give you some more characters and stages, and next year, we're going to give you more characters and stages. Oh, it's the same thing. Or, back in the day, alright, you had to wait 5 years or 7 years in between a Zelda Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time before you got your next fix of Zelda. These years, oh, here's Breath of the Wild. Oh, some months later, here's some DLC. Oh, a year later, here's a motorcycle. Oh, it keeps you into the game longer. Back in the day, oh, you gotta wait a year in between Donkey Kong Country 1 and 2. Nowadays, oh, here a couple months later, here, revisit Donkey Kong Island and go and play in this new area. Okay. You're either waiting longer for new games or you're waiting less time and spending less for DLC in said titles. Is it really all that different? I I think we're living better now than we did in the past. The thing I do miss though is the ease of access in renting full games. But these days, with the likes of NSO, you are renting full older games for far less, pennies on the dollar, literally. And you also have free demos constantly available and full on free games like Fortnite that are always around, up, viable, worthy to play. You know? Spoiled rotten, lol. Yeah, Charlie Smith. Because we are spoiled. True Pokemon fan. I feel sorry for Nash because he puts his name on the line big time. You know, Zapikin, I'm not going to put any blame if he's wrong because I know what that's like to get incorrect information or have information be uh, changed. Rumor not paved true. So I'm okay with it. Whatever. If it happens and it's close to what he said, awesome, good for him. If it doesn't happen, it's all good. Maybe he heard something wrong. Hard to say. Whatever. Steak. Remember free calls after 7 or something like that? And paying per text message? Yeah, Steak, I know what you talk about. I think Wii U was just a Switch prototype. Wii U was Nintendo's growing pains. They spent longer to get into the 1080p generation than anyone else, and they weren't quite ready for it. And they made certain decisions that made development a little bit more difficult by introducing this dual component and the hardware that came with it. It walked so Nintendo Switch could run in some ways. Stake 10 to 24, Wind and Waves, right? Wind and Waves. Just change Wind to Gale. You know? Wind and Waves is cool, but let's have Wind be Gale. Let's see. Yeah, Wind and Waves, Gale. Make the final name Gale. I just hope the next Zelda game trailer confirms that we can finally pet the dogs. That would be good, Paladin. Don't forget Mortal Kombat. We got a Mortal Kombat movie coming this year. Street Fighter movie this year. So good. I can't wait for both. 1 year during Christmas time, when I was 22, the nice Walmart lady gave me a Christmas catalog for kids because I looked young. You're talking to AJ Rex. That's cool. That's cool. It's good. You know, I miss instruction booklets. Those were good. Jam Powers. Street Fighter 6 on sale for $20. Heck yeah. Absolutely worth it. If you're not that big of a fighting game fan, I think the World Tour mode is pretty fun. A lot of it is running around, searching and stuff like that. A little bit of a story mode, okay. And then the gameplay mechanic when you meet characters is fighting game related. True. A little bit of an RPG element to it. You might not like the gameplay if you don't like fighting games for the combat purposes of this overworld game. But if you get past that, which honestly is pretty fun, and you can make it easier by playing in a simpler manner, I think what you have there is a solid game. And then maybe if you have a little bit of curiosity into the characters, you could play easier controls and enjoy a lot of the story and the art and the special effects and the variety of modes and the multiplayer component in the main core game of Street Fighter and its arcade modes and stuff like that. Like, I'm biased because I love Street Fighter, but I'm also trying to look at it from a value perspective, and I'm like, $20 for that quality of a game for how much it gives you is factually a good deal. The objective truth is there's a lot of game there that is well put together for a fair price of 20 with enough variety in it. Doesn't mean you're going to love it, but the value is there. And it's good value, you know? Still doesn't mean you're going to dig it, but I think the price of entry is cheap enough that it's worth a shot. Yeah. Yeah, in my opinion, at least. I missed the Nintendo Power magazine. Yeah. I was in the Nintendo Power magazine several times, Tsukino Ame, including one time I was interviewed, which is pretty cool in the magazine. I want Persona 6, Mortal Kombat 3, Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. True. Paul, what do you think will come after the Galaxy movie? Mr. Pot says. Good question. I would have thought World would have been next, and then Galaxy. But they went with Galaxy. Naming convention wise, it would seem like you'd be going back a bit if you did World. So I think Odyssey, the Super Mario Odyssey movie. I guess that's what I'm going to go with. It could be something completely different, but for now, I suppose I'll go with the Super Mario Odyssey movie. Or the Super Mario Universe movie. I don't know. You go too big, then it might be a little bit too difficult to come up with more names. Then again, I'm sure they got plenty of names possible, you know. Yeah, I guess I'll go with Odyssey as the next one for now. Doug Bowser just came in to tell Paul when the direct is. That's right, Steak 1024. Brandon White. Hello, everyone. Just got here. What did I miss? We went over when the direct is. We did a full spoiler of the release date of Ocarina of Time remake. No, I'm just kidding. What did we go over? We went over possibilities for the direct. Do we think it's going to happen this week? Do I think it's happening this week? Some different possibilities, like what if they don't do until June? Would it be bad? Wouldn't it be the most desirable thing? But there are ways in which it would not necessarily be bad, you know? They could do Mario 3D Land next movie for the movies and bring back the 3D glasses in theaters. Paladin, that's a fun idea. Yeah. Mitch Bagel, hey Paul. Hey there. Is World Tour mode 30 frames per second? No, it's 60, as far as I could recall playing. Hey, let me put up a poll. Let's see. All right, poll is up. We have 40 people watching now. Maybe I should have put up the poll when we had 50, but that's okay. Will we get a Nintendo Direct or Zelda 40th Direct this week? Yes to the Nintendo Direct. Yes to just Zelda 40th. Yes to both. No to neither. What y'all think? Good possibilities, right? By the way, I look once in a while. We're at 43 watching and 53 likes. We have hit 50 likes up in here. So the people that came and went, at least they liked it before they headed out. So thank you all for liking it that are still here. I wouldn't be surprised if we got a Luigi's Mansion movie before the third Mario movie. That's another good point. They could make the Mario movie universe last a little bit longer. Not that they are short on material, but they could make the naming conventions last longer or whatever. If they have a Luigi's Mansion movie here, a Donkey Kong movie there, and so forth, right? More Nintendo IP. Yeah. Bowser's Fury. Also true. It doesn't have to be the Super Mario blank movie. It could be, the Super Mario movie, Bowser's Fury. The Super Mario movie, Quest for the Seven Stars, right? It could be that kind of thing. The Super Mario movie, Big Dino Trouble. Like, they could do whatever they want. They could do a lot of things. You hear the doggy barking? Yeah. Doggy somewhere around. Peach! Peach, Peach, Peach! Bowser's Fury.
This is the path of my destiny.
Today in gaming history, February 16th, 2016, Street Fighter V launched for the PlayStation 4 and PC in Europe and North America.
This is the path.
That was a fun short to make because I went outside in the rain and I filmed it. And then I dried my hair. Let's see how the poll is doing. No, neither. Ooh, 40% are like, no, sorry. Don't want to be a downer. But I don't think anything's happening this week. But that means 60% of you think something will happen. 60% think in one way, shape, or another we'll get it. Either direct, 25, both, 20, just 40th, 15. By the way, both could be two things independent or both things in one, right? Like, if there was a Zelda 40th segment in the general direct, I would count that as both. You love the short? Thank you, Mario Master. You know what? I should grab that link.
This is the path of my destiny.
Today in gaming history, February 16th, 2016, Street Fighter V launched for the PlayStation 4 and PC in Europe and North America.
This is the path of my destiny.
Okay, Ryu. So the pinned comment, that's a link to the Mario poster video that I put up. So if y'all don't mind dropping some hype, some like, and some comments on it, it's at 677 views, which now is at still 677. Maybe it didn't update yet. I don't know. But yeah, if you don't mind, I'll hype in, liking, commenting on that 7 new posters for the Super Mario Galaxy movie on the pinned comment. I'd appreciate it. And if you don't mind liking, the short of today, that'd be cool too. Who is playing Ryu in the new Street Fighter movie? It's a wrestler. I know it's Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is playing Gale in the movie. Ryu is not being played by like a WWE wrestler. I forgot the actor's name at the top of my head. Mario and Luigi brothership movie, yes. A poll about NSO drops, we could do that. Imagine waking up this Tuesday or Thursday to a shadow drop of a 10-minute video detailing Zelda 40th. Oh, that would be good. That would be really, really nice. I would love that. That would be the best, honestly. When I feed the stray cat and ask them about a direct, they said meow. So maybe. Hold on. You fed a stray cat and you asked them about the direct. They did say meow. They answered. What did you ask the cat? Like, hey, kitty, here's some food. By the way, are we getting a direct this week? Did you ask this week? And then they went meow. Then that would be yes. I think so. Cat logic. Got my hopium hat on. Watching while cooking some chicken and fried rice for my fiance. That's cool. I hope that meal, Nasty Natsu, is so good because you're getting some Nintendo energy, some positive vibes blasting through these waves into that chicken and rice. I think that's the way it works, right? Yeah. That's what I'm going with. I hope it's an extra good meal. Cool Trainer Andrew, how much will Nintendo raise the price of Switch 2? $50. If it goes up, I don't think it goes up more than 50. I think it just goes from 450 to 500. Go from 450 to 500 and throw Welcome Tour in. There you go. Comes with the game. Welcome Tour now becomes one of the best-selling games of all time. That's what I would do. If Nintendo needs to raise the price because these RAM prices are just up, and you're looking at this tariff situation and stuff. 450, make it 500, but throw in Welcome Tour as a constant. Peach, what do you think? What do you think, Peach? What do you think? You see Peach in the bottom corner? Yeah. Hadouken. Oh, well, now you want to come up? Oh, Peach wants to say hi. Look at this dog. Peach, is it going to be a good year for Nintendo? Yeah, it's going to be a great year. Well, you heard it here. Peach said it's going to be a great year for Nintendo. All you got to do is listen to the dog. She knows. She knows stuff. She knows what she's talking about. I know everything. She knows everything, apparently. Ah, Peach! Peach! I have that dry rainwater on me, Let's see. I was surprised there was no Hadouken at the end of the short. I have done a Hadouken at one of the Street Fighter shorts. Let's see. That's true. The positive vibes make dinner 100 times better. It's a fact. Well, that's good. That's going to be a 100x times dinner there, right there. Brandon White, can use someone's prayers teeth or can use someone's prayers. Your teeth are bothering you. I'm sorry to hear that, Brandon White. I hope your teeth feel better today. I did say this week, and the cat did meow, so it could mean anything. I think the cat's meow is saying yes. Let's see. Peach, will Pokemon Coliseum or Gale of Darkness come to GameCube NSO soon? Yes, it will come very soon. Wow. According to Peach, Pokemon XD, Gale of Darkness, and Pokemon Coliseum will come to the NSO soon. That's you heard it here first. Now, dogs' perception of soon, keep in mind, is debatable. They do live shorter lives than us, so soon for them, I don't know what exactly that's going to mean, but yes, it will. Ah! Oh! Peach, is there a Nintendo Direct this week? Peach, is there a Nintendo Direct this week? Gotta go! She left without answering. To be determined! She said to be determined. Oh, wow. So I guess, according to Peach, there's room for debate, possibility, as to whether or not it's going to happen. That means Nintendo might be up in the air with it. Wow, 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 wow. I can't wait for this to blow up on the internet. People being like, oh my gosh. According to Peach over there, it might happen. Oh, jeez. How much of Pokemon Tennis Fever have you played? I actually don't have it, Graceful Requiem. I didn't get the game. Have you played any matches against viewers? No. So same question, or going off the same question. No. That timing, yeah, it was good timing, wasn't it? She's funny. She's funny. Let's see. I'll check X real quick. We got Ash's post right here. Bam! Oh, cool. Thank you to Ash. You didn't get the game? No. I knew that, like, based off my own playtime right now, going through Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I'm loving, trying to play through Ghost of Yotei, even though I'm more distracted by FF7, trying to finish Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, which is sort of on the side, that Mario Tennis Fever isn't something that I would put a lot of time into now. However, I was thinking about it because it is a relatively easy pick up and play kind of game. You know, unlike Dragon Quest VII Reimagined, which I was thinking of, but it's like, oh, that one, you know, it's a big time sink, and that one probably would not get my time, unlike Mario Tennis Fever, maybe. But no, not right now. Maybe eventually. I've been hearing more and more positive things about Mario Tennis Fever, but yeah, not a priority to like buy and play now. But in time, perhaps. I have more faith in Peach than I do Nash. Just a joke. Sorry. That's okay. It's all good. It's funny. Okay. Anything else on the X side of things? It'd be kind of neat if we got some news all of a sudden. Nintendo continuously advertising Metro Prime 4 Beyond. That's good. I mean, I'll take those advertisements, Nintendo. 27 minutes ago, they put that up there. 3 hours ago, they put up some Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. Does Peach want another dog? She probably would befriend another little dog in this family. But she doesn't get one yet. We've got one dog, one cat. Good. For now. Maybe later. Alrighty. Did Peach predict a direct? I missed it. When she was asked that question, she bolted. And then from afar, she said, to be determined. Yeah, it was kind of crazy. Like, she did confirm that Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Paul Gale Network of Darkness would be coming soon. She confirmed that. take that to the bank. Run with it. That's legit. But on the direct this week, she said, to be determined, implying that Nintendo themselves is, not positive on whether or not they're going to have it this week, even, I guess. Like, perfect timing. So we don't know. Well, yeah, you'll have to rewind that, watch that part. Peach! Oh, now she has a mouth stuffed with a tennis ball, which, Peach is not a big dog, so a tennis ball makes up a pretty good portion of her mouth. Kind of funny. So she can't even answer right now. How convenient. Yeah. All right, everyone. I think that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you all so much for being here. That was a fun conversation today. I mean, we've got a lot of anticipation in the air. I'm going to close out the poll. 47% is in the lead with no, neither. But that means, 53% of you think something's going to happen this week. 27 on the side of a direct, and a 13-13 split between 40th Zelda something or both. How convenient that Peach has a tennis ball. Mario Tennis Fever. It's almost like she knows that the game is doing well or is a fun game. All right, thank you, everybody. Paladin, you're welcome. Charlie Smith, see you next time. Pokemon fan, Tsukino Ame. Mario Theater DLC confirmed by Peach the dog. Yeah, I think so. I guess that's accurate. Thank you, Ash, if you're still here, one more time, for the generous $1, getting our stream going. Thank you, Roger Enyer, if you're still here, for the generous $12, helping boost up the community. And as I mentioned previously, we're at 439 members, ever approaching that 450 and 500 mark. Pretty sweet to see. And thank you all so much for being here. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. See you all tomorrow, probably in the morning, for another normal PGN Live. Maybe we'll have a direct this week. Maybe we'll have Zelda 40th conversation for real instead of just speculating. By the time Saturday rolls around, we'll see. Roger, you're still here. Hype. That's right. Later, everyone. Fun stream. Good. Thank you. All right. Take care, y'all.